Okay, so to introduce Karrie, for you guys have not met her yet, she is my client, and we're celebrating 2 year anniversary today, which is big. 2 years of dealing with my
Hard to
crazy butt.
believe.
um, and I met Karrie a little over, well, a little under, I say over 2 years. So we've been working together with nutrition, and then we brought on the exercising, and we're going to have some questions that I get asked a lot and my clients get asked a lot too. Karrie has some good stories that I'm sure she'd like to share that people have just asked her recently, but we're going to go through those questions and just like have a normal conversation. Okay, so the first question that I get asked a lot is, what type of things were you dealing with before we started working together?
Oh, um, I was a mess. Physically, um, knee pain, movement issues, plantar fasciitis, hip pain. I was a mess. You know, it was rough. I had kind of reached
Mm-hmm.
the end of my rope with it. I have small grandkids. I wanted to be able to get on the floor with them and play with them. It was hard to get up and down. Um, it was, brings back
Mm-hmm.
a lot of painful memories of just
Mm-hmm.
how
And
bad
I
I really
almost
felt.
forget because again, it's been 2 years now. I remember like looking back at your like intake form, and I'm like, oh wow, we got a lot of things to cover here. Like you said, the knee pain, plantar fasciitis,
Right.
like a lot
Yeah.
of stuff happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it
From
was
a
rough.
like just regular health side of things, what did that look like?
Um, so I was fortunate that I did not really have any health issues yet. Um, I have high cholesterol, trying to get that under control. But really, honestly, I didn't have any health issues yet. Probably I could have been pre-diabetic. I think if I would have kept going, I definitely
Mm-hmm.
would have headed toward
Mm-hmm.
diabetes. Definitely. That was a big concern. I had gestational diabetes with my pregnancy, so it was always something that my
Mm-hmm.
doctor and I would watch for. So this definitely has
Mm-hmm.
helped that
Okay.
tremendously.
What about, and I don't want this to be like the only part of our conversation,
No,
but I think it's really worth noting. What was your weight when we met? And I don't want to say
280.
that's huge because that's a big number, but like, come,
Yeah,
I knew you were
it's
going to do
huge.
that. Yeah.
I mean, it's huge. I own it. It was pretty bad. I had fun during COVID. A lot of cooking, a lot of banana nut bread.
But that wasn't like you woke up one day and were like, oh, I'm 280 pounds. It was over time. Yeah.
Over time. Yeah, over time. And honestly, I lost weight, gained weight, lost weight, gained weight. And usually every time I lost weight, when
Mm-hmm.
I gained, I would gain more. So I had kind of reached my wits' end, and which is when I talked to my
Mm-hmm.
daughter and asked her for your name. So, which I thought you lived
Yeah,
in
that's
California, but
another
that's
story.
another story.
So, what type of programs or diets or pills, I know we can go on all day about those, have you tried and what did that look like?
Oh, oh my goodness, what haven't I tried? Seriously, I have tried doctor supervised shakes. Um, is
I
it
think, yeah, the
HGC
latter.
or HCC? Okay, I've done that where you give your
Oh,
shots in your belly, which I cannot believe I did that. I'm afraid to use, sweetener, and I was doing that.
uh,
I probably I probably joined Weight Watchers at least, and this is probably not exaggeration, 50 times, maybe even
Jeez.
more during my
Yeah.
time frame of from my pregnancies to where I was before I met you. But I've done it all. I really have. I've done the South Beach diet, the cabbage soup diet.
Oh,
Oh,
I
I've been
forgot about that
hypnotized.
one.
That was a good one. I was
Uh,
hypnotized. I literally did everything except for surgery. And honestly, about 4 years ago, my doctor, we talked about it, and he said I would have been a really good candidate for it because I didn't have health issues. Um, I had the potential to have the diabetes, the pre-diabetes, but he thought I would have been a great, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
mhm.
It was frightening to me.
That is scary. And it looks like
So,
Stacy did HCG too. Yeah. Oh, yeah,
oh,
we got some
okay.
war buddies here.
I mean, honestly, I wish I had all the
Yeah,
money that I've
yeah, because
thrown
it's
at
not
it.
cheap, especially the doctor,
Oh,
like the
no.
doctor facilitated things.
Right.
Those are usually more expensive, right?
Hmm. Right. Right.
And
Oh,
even
definitely.
with all of those, it kind of
But
just
yeah,
you still had the weight gain, you still struggled.
well, I,
Hmm.
I, I did lose weight, but the problem
Hmm.
was that I couldn't sustain it. I mean, that was the big thing. Anything I did, I just couldn't sustain. I would, the weight would fall off, especially the doctor ones, because you had an appetite suppressant. It was kind of easy. But as soon as you re-entered the real world,
Hmm.
I didn't learn anything. And that was the really big thing. I just never really learned anything. So therefore, the weight
And that
just came
makes
back
total
on.
sense.
And then
Hmm.
it's like you're on a hamster wheel, you know? You just gain, regain, gain, lose, gain, lose.
Yeah.
So it was
How many years were you
it's
doing
been
that?
hard
Thank you.
until I found you.
How many years were you when
Pardon
you
me.
started to like, okay, I'm gonna like maybe try to lose weight? How many years was that?
Oh, well, so I gained 50 pounds. I actually was thin. I was 120,
Hmm.
117 when I got married. And when I had my son, I gained 50 pounds. And he was like 8 pounds, 12 ounces. And I swear to God, I came out of the hospital and lost 8 pounds, 12 ounces. And
Uh,
that was it. And then I never really lost the weight from
mm,
having him. It was a big lifestyle change. I quit my job. I was a stay-at-home mom. I moved to Robinson where I knew no one. So it was a huge lifestyle change. And I
mm.
never really lost my weight, you
I'm
know?
sure a lot of moms
So
here can understand that, the change you go through once you have kids, not only
yeah,
with your body,
yeah,
but with your schedule.
definitely. Oh, terrible.
How,
Yeah.
I remember this, kind of remember this when I told you, but what do you remember when I told you we have to eat more food? We can't eat less.
I thought you were nuts. Um, it actually seems crazy to think that I can honestly tell you that since I've been working with you, I have never, and it's crazy, but I'm never hungry. I I eat good, you know? And I don't know if it's because I'm eating like densely nutritious food. It just keeps you full. I just never
Mhm.
really feel like I'm suffering, which is why I'm still
Yeah,
here 2 years
yeah.
later. I mean, and again, it's that whole
Hmm.
just sustainability.
Hmm.
I can stick with it because I'm not
And
suffering.
that's, go ahead.
So that's I think that has been the hugest
Yeah,
factor for me. You
yeah.
know,
I mean, that, how many times I
yeah,
tell women we have to eat more food. We have to eat more food. It's scary, right? You were probably scared.
When I remember when we had our first meeting, and it
Yeah.
was video. It went a lot better than
Yeah,
this
wasn't
one.
on Facebook.
But anyhow, I remember like the first thing you said to me is, "How are you not in pain?"
Kind
Do
of.
you remember that? You said,
Uh,
"How are you not in pain?" And I said, "Well, I am in pain." And because I remember I was eating, as crazy as it sounds, I wasn't eating enough
oh, yeah, I
fat,
remember this conversation
healthy
now.
fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of all my years of doing all the diet programs that I've done, everything in my refrigerator was low fat, fat free. I was really big on everything being fat free. Spray fake butter, um, all the things that now I look back and say, oh my
Hmm.
gosh, I can't believe I did that. And now I
Yeah,
have
with your
butter.
baked potato. Yeah. Yeah, I
Yes.
remember that. I remember you were telling me the joint pain you were having, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Karrie, it's because you don't eat fat. Don't eat real fat. And as like
Yeah.
random as that seems, like why would fat help my joints? Like that's such a big part about joint health. Like that, we don't realize until you take it away and have many years of low fat, and then you end up like how you were, like knees always hurting, always having joint pain.
Right. 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 Yeah. So that was a big. You said eat more food. I didn't know if I believed you, but honestly, I was kind of at
Hmm.
the, rock bottom. So it's like putting myself in your capable hands. I was going to let you do whatever you needed to do
And 2 years
to
later, it's
make
still
this
working.
work. Yeah.
What is your favorite part about working with me?
Oh, so many things. Well, I mean, it's accountability. Accountability is huge. I love the fact that I look at my I look at my week and I know that we're going to check in every week. Um, I love the fact that you're there for me when I panic, reach out to you, and I have at times. You're always there, which is huge. You've been a huge support system. Other than that, it's obviously
Hmm.
it's working. If you would have told me 2 years ago, you're going to be counting your macros, I would have looked at you like you're
What about the
crazy.
lifting weights part?
Oh, that's yeah.
uh,
That's the funny part. It's I just can't believe, that how much I've learned, and I have learned a ton, which has
mhm,
been super
mhm.
helpful in this
That's
journey.
one thing I'll never forget was the day whenever we started in September and then it was like December. And I asked you, I'm like, what do you think about like working
Uh,
out? And you're like, I don't know. We'll see. And I was like, what'd you tell
no,
me?
you know what I told you? I said, I remember this. I said to you, it was it
Okay,
was
yeah.
like the end of November. And you said, what do you think about working out? And I said to you, can we talk about this in
Yep, that
January?
was it. That was it.
That's what I said. Because in my head, I'm thinking, oh my God, I have Christmas. I have so much to do. And then you kind of said to me, why? And I'll never forget, like you were like, why? And in my head, I'm thinking, because I have Christmas, and I have to get my Christmas
Christmas
cards
cards.
out, and I have to, I mean, you have that mental list. And honestly, I think I stopped and I thought, why? Why?
Hmm.
This is stupid.
Hmm.
I need to do this. And we
Hmm.
started the first week in December.
Yeah.
I
And
remember
just
that.
like the basics. Like nothing,
Oh,
like
so
nothing
basic.
crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, at that time you probably lost, I don't know where you were at that time, but we probably lost like 10 pounds or more by then, I would think. It was like, yeah, December.
Maybe, yeah, a
So you
little
were
more.
moving more, you were walking more, but you weren't picking up weights. You weren't squatting, you know, your butt to the
Oh,
floor, you know, it was very basic.
I had a when we started working out, you were coming to my house when you did that, and um, and
Yeah.
it was during
Yep.
COVID, so we wore masks. It was
Yeah.
kind of crazy, and I remember the time that I'll never forget the time that you had me like lay back on a bench to do an exercise, and I just rolled off.
I was just like, oh, we're in for it.
I've come a long way, baby.
I was so nervous that scared you off. I was like, I hope she's like really not scared after this. Oh gosh. Yeah, we
We
did.
had a
And
lot of good
you
times.
now you're at this point where you're lifting, that was 2 times a week at that time. Now you're 3 times by
Yes,
yourself. I just give you what to do and you
yes.
do it. And I always say every time you make these big, like monumental leaps in your, you know, your journey, I always think like, would Karrie back in 2 years ago, I'm like, would that person be doing this right now? Like, did you think? No, no.
No, I
Yeah.
don't. I don't. Yeah, I even asked you for the third day, which was really crazy. Sometimes I like curse myself
Now you love
because
it
I
though, so
did.
you can't complain. Now you have a whole gym
Yes,
upstairs.
yes.
uh,
And that was no easy feat getting
yes,
dumbbells
that's
during
true.
COVID.
Oh, go ahead. Oh my
Remember, you
God,
bring
yeah.
them to my
For
house.
those who don't know, we live very close to each other. So yeah, I was bringing dumbbells to her house and walking them up the steps.
Because you couldn't find
No, yeah,
you
that was
couldn't buy a
crazy.
dumbbell
Yeah.
then.
Another good question. What things were you most surprised about with this, with working with me or just having a coach?
um, well, I'm surprised that I'm still here. I mean, seriously, when I first started it, I thought, well, I'll try this. I mean,
Hmm.
I have to try something. Um, Super surprised that I'm still here 2 years later. And honestly, I feel like I'm going to be here for a while. I do love that support system, and I love the fact that you're helping me with the exercises and the nutrition. It's been such a great experience for me. I can't speak highly
Stop. You're gonna make
enough
me
of you.
cry.
I really can't.
Oh,
No, I really mean it. I mean, you saved my
that
life.
means a lot.
You
I'm
really
glad you
did.
said that. And that's like I anyway.
I'm not just saying that because I truly do believe, and I'm getting misty too, but I truly do believe that you saved my life. I think that I really, in anything I've ever done, I never thought that I would, I always felt like, oh, I'll do this, but like in 6 months, I'll probably gain it. But, I have to try. I really don't think I'll ever go back. I really don't. I feel like I made a great lifestyle change. It's, yeah,
And
it's really
I
awesome.
could not ask for, I don't even know what, someone that like it's there's a lot of things going in my head right now, but the level of not that you have to be at some extreme level, but we started so small. And getting to this point where like hearing
Right.
someone say like you like saved my life, that's huge. Like for what little steps we did along the way, you know?
I mean, I could, honestly, it
Yeah.
was hard for me to walk. I could walk, but I really
Hmm.
couldn't walk far, because then I had fasciitis, but
Yeah.
everything started to hurt. That
The
has been a
stairs.
huge
What about the
thing.
stairs?
The
Hmm.
movement of stairs, one at a time and sideways.
Oh, you froze. I hope we didn't lose her. Maybe I froze. Way back? Okay.
Yeah, my phone
Oh,
apparently I have a low
oh,
battery
jeez.
warning. I just had to plug it
That's
in.
okay. I
I
know.
wasn't planning
We
on
should have had
using
that
my
one
phone.
prep too. But you said you were walking up the stairs and sideways up.
Oh, and yeah, and coming down sideways and one at a time. Um, I I like to go to the theater, see Broadway shows, and I could never sit in the seat with my knees bent at a 90-degree angle. I had to like put my feet, my poor friend that goes with me, I'd have to like put one leg underneath her legs, and because I couldn't really bend my knees, I'd be in
God,
so
that's
much
so
pain.
wild to think about. And now you're
Um,
squatting to like a 12, 14 inch, you know,
yeah,
with a
do you
dumbbell,
believe
with
that?
a dumbbell.
Do you believe that? I mean, I remember starting the
Yeah,
squats to my
yeah,
chair in my gym, and now we're squatting to
yeah,
we're
yeah,
at
with
least
a
at
weight.
14,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I think. Yeah, yeah. So it and no knee pain, which to
Hmm.
me is huge. I was going to doctors, and of course, the thing when you go to a doctor for knee pain, the first thing they do is like want to put steroids, cortisone shots, or I've had that rooster shot where it's a
Oh,
series of 3 shots. I've had it, oh yeah, and it never helped, and I couldn't, but the weight loss and the
hmm.
just building the muscle has relieved
I
so
even
much
remember
of
when
my
you,
pain.
like the first time you could go down the steps one at, like, not one at a time, 1 foot
Yeah,
after another. And you're like, Maddie, look, going down the
alternating.
steps.
Yes. It is the little
Yeah.
things you take for
It
granted.
all
It's
stems back to
crazy.
quality of life,
Yes.
right? Weight loss, like I'll say this till
Right.
I'm blue in the face.
Yes.
Weight loss is amazing. I'm so happy for anyone that can achieve weight loss. But if your quality of life truly isn't changing long term, it's not cool anymore. It's not amazing. It's
Right.
not like all the things for you that have changed have
Right.
been lifestyle and quality of life.
Oh, so much. It has definitely changed tremendously. I was able to ride my jet ski this
Hmm.
week, yeah, this summer, where before it was hard to climb up on it. I couldn't do it. There was
Hmm.
so much I was missing out on. Needless to say, and I will say this, the airplanes
Oh, yeah.
terrified me because every time I would go on, I would think, am I going to need an extender? I don't want to have to
Hmm.
ask for an extender.
Hmm.
It's so embarrassing. And now
That
I
is
don't have to
nice.
think about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Little things you
I
take
think
for
a lot of
granted.
us, I mean, for someone like me that at 21 I couldn't walk, totally different predicament, but you go from walking one day, then like I can't walk. It's like, wow, I'm 21, I can't walk, you know? And I thought about being older, like if I
Right.
continued at this rate of just not putting myself first again and just taking the back burner, like, it's fine. That could have kept going, and then I wouldn't be
Right.
here. I wouldn't have helped you, you wouldn't have had your quality of life
Right.
back. So
Right.
I think that's huge.
Right. And as far as your coaching, I think what it was great is you explain things. It was, I know you, because I had so many issues, and I know that you were planning my exercises
Hmm.
to help me with my issues so
Hmm.
that I would gain the strength. And the other thing is, you never made me do crazy things that where I
Hmm.
couldn't walk the
Hmm.
next day. You know, I I tried going to other trainers and other gyms, and literally had that experience where I couldn't even sit down on the
Oh,
toilet the second day.
yeah.
It was, my
Yeah.
quads were like dying, and
Yeah.
you eased me into it. And it kind of was nice. I didn't feel that
I knew
extreme
that was the only
agony.
way that would keep someone at your fitness level, which was very little at the time, to keep coming back. And I think
Right,
trainers, I mean,
right,
hopefully, I think it's getting better. I'm not really in that world anymore, but they just see someone that comes in out of
mhm,
shape. I'm going to make them sweat so hard. They're not going to be able to sit in the toilet tomorrow. And I think, like, one, that's not good for
right,
them. It hurts. You don't want to be that person. Two,
right,
it's scary.
right.
Scary as heck doing that. And three, that's
Hmm.
not good coaching. Good coaching is not making someone sweat as hard as they
Right.
can and then making them drag their body out of the gym. That's just flashy advertising, a flash in the pan,
Right.
not quality. It's quality over like this kind of like, woo, that kind of, and that kept you like the next time to work
Right.
out, you weren't afraid to work out. If I went,
Right. Right. I mean, there are times I
yeah,
don't like it,
yeah. Like if we're talking about
but I get
like
through
split
it.
squats and lunges, those are your favorite.
Oh, oh, your ears must be burning when I'm doing
I
those.
know, I know. You're cussing me out at home. That's
Uh-huh.
funny. Okay, here's a good one. What misconceptions did you have about weight loss before we started?
Um, well, number one, I think the biggest misconception I had was every time I lost weight, I regained it. And
Mhm.
and that's not the way it's supposed to be. I kind of, everything I did seemed to be so temporary. I'd feel good for a little while, but
Mhm.
could never keep the weight off. So that was a tough one. I'm trying to think. These are
You
a
don't
lot
have
of
to do them all,
questions.
but maybe like what you probably felt because you were
No,
eating
no,
like
no.
next to nothing when I met you. So maybe just you had to eat less to be less. That's one I think we all kind of can agree on.
Well, because I think that's how my body, I literally was,
Hmm.
that was happening to me. I, I would eat a certain amount of calories a day, and I would lose, but it would be ridiculous, like a quarter of a pound, all week of doing something. And me, I'm
Yeah,
pretty true to what I do. Um,
yeah.
it was so disappointing because I always, the one, and this is a big one, I have always said, well, I'm so big, I
Hmm.
should be losing a lot
Hmm.
more weight and a lot faster. And that's really
Hmm.
hard for me to get over because this journey has been very consistent,
Mm-mm.
but it's not fast. It's not a fast weight loss. It's not it's, it keeps going though. That's what I love. I lose. It's not like I lose one week and then gain, like I did that a lot when I was
Hmm.
on a different diet program. You lose 3 pounds one week and then
Hmm.
the next week gain two. And it was just every week it was, you know, now I feel like
Hmm.
I'm losing consistently. I don't know that there's very few times that
Well,
I think I
well, maybe
don't
when we're
lose.
in that maintenance
I don't
phase,
know.
right? That was something, yeah, a lot of
Well,
people
the
probably don't
maintenance phase.
understand, but, and I think Karrie was, when we first started talking about it, she was like, what? Well, we started eating more
Yeah.
food first, really focused on building a strong metabolism. We were eating almost 1900 calories. Yeah, and then we went into a
Yeah.
diet phase, and that's when we really focused on weight loss. But then you can't stay there forever. And I think that's probably the first time you were like, oh, we get out of a diet phase, we don't stay here.
Yeah. And that
Hmm.
actually was a little hard for me in the beginning because I'm thinking,
Yeah.
okay, well, I want to lose weight. I want to keep going. I want to keep going. And now, like Maddie, I don't want to keep going. I'm
Yeah.
ready to get off.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, yeah.
this is the last
Carrie's
week, right?
currently in a diet phase right now, and we've been going back and forth because I'm in a diet phase too. And we both are like, okay, I'm ready to get out now, because it's hard to stay there, right? It's a different level. Like when you're,
Mhm.
maintaining life, not focused on weight loss, but maintaining your weight compared to being in a diet, it's a different mentality. But that's what I think makes it so much different because no one should be focused on, I got to lose, lose, lose. That energy, can you imagine being a diet
Right,
phase year long? It'd be impossible.
right. Yeah. And the nice thing is when we come out of the diet and
Hmm.
you keep adding
Yeah.
the macronutrients over a period of time, um, I don't gain. It's like it's just nice to know that what you worked so hard to accomplish
Yeah.
doesn't go out the
Yeah.
window. You know, I love that. And I'm still exercising, so I do have body
Hmm.
composition changes, even though I'm
Hmm.
not losing
Yeah. There
actual
have
weight.
been literal times where you look at your pictures while your body weight stays the same and you can see like definitive
Right.
differences and your strength. Like
Yes.
day one carry of exercising, like you're pushing much different weight over your head in front of your body, squatting. I mean, it doesn't
Hmm.
not like the
Hmm.
thing is like you can have so much change in your body without seeing a number on the scale change, right? Clothes fit different. Like,
Hmm.
remember how many times you had to get
Right.
a new wardrobe? We're like,
I
okay.
know. I know. My husband remembers that too.
Yeah, many times. Or you would come out and be like, look at this shirt.
I know. I'm looking. I know it's time like to get my fall stuff out
I don't
soon, and
think
I'm
much of it's
don't
gonna
know what to
fit.
expect. So we'll see.
Because yeah, that was 20
Yeah.
pounds ago.
But yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
it is crazy.
no, I
But a good
know. It's
testament how
crazy.
hard you work and just following a plan that works. Oh, keep going, keep going. And that's
Mhm.
something we talk about all the time.
Right. The other, another, I guess, misconception, I guess I thought, okay, when you said doing weights, I'm thinking, I don't have a gym. I mean, I have a
Hmm.
very basic gym, and it's, there's no fancy equipment, dumbbells,
Hmm. Yeah.
a bench, and I
Hmm.
think I have that ball. Uh, But like Maddie designed my program
Hmm.
with what I have. And I think that's cool. Like it's been so great that I don't have to feel like I have to keep going out and buying
Yeah,
like
it's
fancy
like,
equipment.
and I'll say that forever too. Like in our home gym, we have a little bit more stuff, but we don't have to have that
Yeah,
stuff. You really just need your body,
right,
a bench, some weights, and if you want
right.
to do pulling overhead, you could get a pull-up bar, but there's not much you really need to make something effective. And if I was hoping for you to be consistent with it and keep up with it, why not make it exactly for what you have and make it easy to use?
Right, right.
Oh, I'm glad
Yeah,
that I'm
that's been
glad that's
great.
working for you.
Yeah.
Um, okay, here's a good question. What were your goals when you first started, right? When you first talked to me for the first time, compared to what they are now?
Yeah. So when I first started, I just wanted to be able to walk.
Mhm.
I really did. I just wanted to be able to get to a point where I wasn't in pain. It was
Mhm.
more about the physical pain, that type of thing. Um, and obviously, everybody wants to lose weight. I want to look better. Now, I think I've changed somewhat. I feel like I actually might be more focused
Mhm.
on the health end of it now. I'm more focused on. I find myself, which I can't believe this, trying to shy more away from anything like that's processed, like eating just
Mhm.
more basic food. Um, I just
Mhm.
find that I feel better. I definitely think that health is a big part of it. I mean, I turned 60 this year. So health, you start looking
Yeah.
at your health a little differently. And so that's been like a big factor. Also, too, I love my newfound
Mhm.
strength. And it's kind of like cool to like look at your
Yeah.
muscle. I love the way I feel now. The muscle that I've added has added so much to my life. Like I just know it now. I can go out and I can remember like weeding or bending over in the yard it was so hard. And now like I'm doing that
Mhm.
stuff and not thinking about it. Like you said, I'm running up the steps and running down the steps and
Playing
not
with your
thinking about it.
grandkids.
Oh, playing with my grandkids, and they keep me so busy. So that is really like the difference between then, I really was
Yeah.
just trying to move a little
Hmm.
and not have extreme pain
Yeah.
because I was pretty down then. Now I find myself like looking forward to, you know, oh, like I'm already thinking next summer, how's my arms going to look next summer?
Yeah, it's different. It's evolved. Definitely
you
evolved.
know, yes, it has definitely evolved. I do love, thinking, okay, how's my bathing suit going to look next year? Or, I'm going to have to buy this. I'm going to have to get something different. It's a good feeling. It's a
That's
great feeling.
awesome. I love the evolution, right? Because
I,
again,
yeah.
everyone, I think,
Uh-huh.
everyone's journey, especially even my own, starts off something so simple. Like, I just want to feel a little bit better, lose some weight. And then you just find these things
Right.
along the road, like, wow, like when I added some more muscle, when I got used to squatting, when I did X, Y, and Z, so much opened
Right.
up for me in my life I didn't
Yeah.
know was possible to feel better.
Right. Right. Yeah. That has been really huge. And this isn't really this question, but this pops into my head. One of the things that surprises me the most about working with you is that I am still living. And I mean, I, we
Hmm.
have a pretty active social life. I didn't want to be in a situation where I had to
Hmm.
withdraw
Hmm.
from life. You know, I still wanted, if I wanted a glass of wine, I wanted to be able to have a glass of wine. If, those are the things that was important to me. I didn't want to take away and just sit at home and like, oh,
Hmm.
I'm on a diet.
Yeah.
I can't do that. And for me, I was willing, if it took longer, that's okay. Because
Hmm.
honestly, that's real life for me. That's never going to change. It's real life. And I had to learn to circumvent around that. I had to learn how to live my real life and still be able to maintain success on this. So that was pretty. I don't gain the weight back, which is like, for
Hmm.
me, it blows my mind. You always, every time I take a vacation, especially to my daughter's house, I hope she's
I think
watching
she is. Yes, they
because
do.
they love
But you always
food.
do a great job. I mean, how many vacations and events you had, right? That,
Oh, so
you
many.
had, but where we were in a
Right,
diet or we were, focusing on something and you just made it work and you
right,
did the best you could. And I never asked for more than that, just what you could
right.
do.
And that's all you can do. And that's the biggest thing you did teach me is not to get so like, because I do have a
Yes.
type A personality when it comes to like, oh my goodness, even when I look on my fitness pal and I try to think of, oh, you're typing in,
Hmm.
I don't know, chicken parm, let's just say, and I get stressed because I'm like, which one should I pick? But you find after a while, you just, if as long as you're consistent in your tracking, it
Hmm.
works, and you can still
Yeah.
live and live
Yeah,
happily.
you don't have to, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. And I think so many of us live in that
Right.
world of all or nothing. I have to be, like you said, be stuck in your house, not do anything because the moment I
Mhm.
go out, it's ruined, right? And it comes back to
Right.
mindset and
Right.
having a plan that works for your life, right? If I gave you a cookie cutter plan,
Right.
do you think it would
Right.
have worked? No.
No,
Yeah.
I've
You're like,
done a
I've
lot
tried
of
this one
those.
already. That's funny. But yeah, I think that's a good point. Like this, the point of this group, healthy and sustainable. Sustainable is for what your life is like. So it's gonna look
Right.
different on everyone. That's okay, but it's just finding, okay, what's gonna work for me, my lifestyle. So like my life doesn't suck because I'm on a diet.
Mhm.
No, that's a good one.
Right. Right. That's true.
Okay, well, we'll say last question or second to last. We talked about this a ton, but do you feel like we kind of just covered it now, but your mindset and mentality around your health, how you approach things, has that changed?
Oh, it's changed so much. It has changed so much. I truly do believe that that I've changed. I have. It's funny. I was telling my husband, nothing. Food doesn't. I don't have the same relationship with food that I had before. I think for
Mm-hmm.
me, food was comforting. It was a friend. It was, oh my God, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sad. I think I'll eat something. Oh, I'm happy. Oh, let's
Yeah.
celebrate. Let's eat something. I don't look at food that way now. And I don't know if it's because it's been so many days. I mean, think about it, day in, day out, making your breakfast, making your lunch, making your dinner, um, just doing it so consistently and truly
Mm-hmm.
feeling satisfied because I'm always satisfied. Um, I think that I just feel like I don't care about food as much anymore. Like I'll look at things even maybe our first year, I might have gone out to an Italian restaurant and might have said, oh, yeah, I think I will get the chicken parm. I'll just really work hard the next day. Now I look at the chicken parm and say, yeah, I don't really need that. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
calling me like it used to. Now I find that I do look at the menu and I do try to pick something that isn't quite as damaging, but still, good. It's just such a, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, like a freedom almost from what
Mm-hmm.
food used to represent for me. It's crazy. Even alcohol. I mean, I'm not an alcoholic by any means, but I did enjoy having a glass of wine or a dirty martini here and there. And I find like, especially this summer, because we were in the a cut, I
Mm-hmm.
I barely drank, you know, but I was okay with it. I thought I'd feel funny being around other couples and everybody drinking, and that was actually okay. It wasn't the
Yeah,
worst thing
and
in the
that
world.
freedom, I think everyone should be able to experience that because it's not like I don't think you get your joy out of food anymore, and it's like you're not looking for that escape,
Right.
right?
And a friend of mine recently asked me, a very valid question, like what would what is preventing me from regaining my weight? And I had to think, and I thought about it, and I just can't tell you how different this time feels. It's just
Mm-hmm.
it's a different me. I've seriously changed, and I don't feel deprived. I just feel like today I'm going to have my protein pancake, and I'm going to, you know, I'm going through, how I told you,
Yeah,
it's like lather, rinse,
yeah.
repeat, lather, rinse, repeat. It's day, next day. And I don't know, after, a lot of days, then you look
Mm-hmm.
and say, oh, wow,
Yeah, like I always
I
say,
see a
Carrie
difference.
2.0 from what you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't focus on it. And I mean, aside from the food prepping and I honestly don't dwell on it a whole lot. I've had people say, how much have you lost? And I have to do a double, like I have to think about it because I don't
Mm-hmm.
like think about it all the time. It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
just a part of my
And
life
that's
right now.
huge. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I
Yeah,
mean, fingers crossed
I
that it
don't
stays
foresee
that
it
way,
going
but
back.
I do. Yeah, I really do feel like
Mm-hmm.
I've changed a lot. And I don't know if it's just the how long I've been doing it or I give you
Oh,
credit
and the
for that.
lifestyle, right? Like thinking about to what your
Yeah.
lifestyle looked like before we started together, and also how much like pain and and suffering you could say was associated with that. It's like, why would you
Oh,
want to? Not saying like
yeah.
you're going to do that, but why would anyone want to go back from a time of where they're thriving now to let's go back to where we feel like poop?
Right.
I think
Right.
it's.
Right. And honestly, uh, this is it is a it's work. It's a journey. It's work. Um, you know, I put a lot of time into this, a lot of effort. I can't, I couldn't even fathom at this point. I think I would if I gained 5 pounds, I think I would be like, oh my God, I've worked too hard to lose that.
It's
Because you realize when you do
mhm,
it the right way,
mhm,
that it does take that.
mhm.
It takes the effort.
That's right.
Because there's no magic
You
pill.
you would have
There's no
found it.
magic pill. Yeah, I will
Oh God.
definitely.
Um, very last question. Maybe just pinpoint one thing so you don't feel like you have to say all the things, but what do you feel like has made you successful now that you've lost 70 pounds?
What has made me successful? I
It could
feel
just
like
be
I'm
one thing.
repeating a
Maybe
lot of the same
I
things over
know
and
what it
over.
is for you, but what do you think it is?
I'm
Yeah,
going to say
yeah, it's like
consistency.
consistency or just like you just kept coming back. I mean, even go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's,
Hmm.
yeah, I think it's consistency. I mean, I don't treat this,
Hmm.
you know how important it is to me. Um, if I miss the check-in or I'm even late, I'm like sending you a message. My check-in's going to be
Uh,
10 minutes late. I'm very, like, I feel like this is the most important thing
mhm.
I'm doing in my life right now. Bar none, over everything. I've told my family. I've told my kids. I said, I work out. They know I work out on Tuesdays. I work out on Thursdays and one day over the weekend. And, don't ask me to babysit. Don't
You're
ask
just
me
putting
until I
yourself
get my
first.
workout done. I have to. I spent my whole life
Mm,
putting everybody else's needs in front of mine. And this is the first time that I've actually
mhm.
done it for myself. And guess what? Like, the world didn't
Your
crash.
husband
The
didn't
world,
starve.
my, my husband didn't starve. And
Yeah.
actually, he lost some weight, so it actually made
Hmm.
it that he benefited from it. So, and
Hmm.
he's eating healthier because I
Yeah.
am. It kind of forces him to. But, you know, um, so I think this really truly is the first time in my life that I put my needs before anybody else. I'm
I
like,
think
this
that's
is
what
so
it is
important
then.
to me.
Because I think hard work too. I think being
Yeah,
consistent too. But if you don't put yourself first, no one's coming to save you. You know? It's you at
right,
the end of the day who
right.
has to do that.
Yeah. No, you're right. And it's it's been fun. I mean, I'm actually looking forward to the next cut. I can't believe I'm saying that.
We do
We
have a
have a
lot
lot
of
of time
time, which
between
is
then.
fine. We'll be eating more food soon because you're in
Yeah.
a cut right now. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I really do
Yeah.
think it was
Yeah.
putting yourself first, and I think that's hard for women to do
Yeah.
that because I mean, I'm not a mom. I'm just a person. But when you have a lot of
Right.
people you feel like are depending
Right.
on you and are depending on you, it's probably really easy to be like, yeah, I'll do that. You could say, oh yeah, it's fine. I'll babysit.
Right.
I'll do my workout later, something like
Well,
that.
and I have an example, and my kids have been so supportive. My family has been so supportive. Like, if we have a holiday, I still will make things for my family, the things that they enjoy, but I always know that I have my food already. If I know I'm
Hmm.
going up for a holiday weekend,
Hmm.
I will prep my food and have it ready
Hmm.
so that I can just grab it, reheat it, and I'm good. Like, I'm not tempted then to like dig
And
into
let
what
me
I'm making
preface
for
that
them.
with we're talking
And
like
it,
minor holidays,
yeah.
like the big holidays, like Christmas and Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Oh, I love Thanksgiving because you always tell me
Yeah.
to put your
Yes.
tracker
I
away
don't
and
want people
enjoy
here
your
to think that
family.
I'm making Karrie bring her Tupperware to Christmas dinner. Not at all.
No, 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 no. I eat the whole shebang and I enjoy it. The difference is the old Karrie would have had
Yes.
those leftovers for
Yeah.
5 days in a
Yeah.
row. The new Karrie gets back
Yeah.
on the program the next day. But instead, I'll still eat the leftover turkey breast. I just don't eat all the
Yeah. Yeah.
other
Well, that's
things,
great.
you know.
No, I think this was great for
So
us. Doing
yeah.
this, what, trying 3 times. This worked. This worked.
Yes.
Um, I know.
I'm glad we figured it out. I was like, what am
No,
I
it was
doing
all
wrong?
me.
Because I
Most
thought it was
likely all
me.
me. Um,
I literally was trying every device,
gosh,
thinking, why can't I get on? She
I
said it
know.
was
I thought it
easy.
was. I'm sorry. But I appreciate you being here so much because I know it's taking your time and putting up with me to figure out technology. And go ahead.
Oh, it's always a pleasure
I
to
know,
talk
twice
to
in a
you and see
day.
your face. I
And
know.
just appreciate you, taking a chance to work with me because that's hard. You didn't really know me, and just a person on the internet that knew your daughter.
Yeah, I'm so grateful. I always tell Alyssa that I can't believe that, you know, how this all happened,
Oh,
and I'm so
thanks.
grateful. You know, you're
Likewise,
very important to
likewise.
me.
Well, I will let everyone go, but thank you again. And we'll have to do, for sure, we'll do year 3, but we'll have to do maybe an update one soon.
Yes.
All right. Talk
Okay.
to you later.
All right.
Bye.